think the American people are so stupid they need you to tell them what the truth is? You can't even admit what the truth is with the Steele dossier.
We'll let you get away with it. We won't let you get away with it. We are coming for you. We have the stamina to hound you down, and we damn well will.
Tear down this wall.
That we made in place. Unique.
Eight drop boxes and 5 organizations.
Hey there! Now, what?
And at the same time,
Well, we head into another week with exposure of the Ivy League schools, etc. Just when we think we've been exposed to most of the corruption, well, just keeps coming. Islam, CNN, DEMs, school systems, Democrat states, teachers, sports organizations, medical programs, and so much more. It's all under the radar today. 514,000 followers on Rumble. That's our go-to for free speech. Thank you for hitting that follow button and that like button. That helps us get to number 2, number 3 on the leaderboard. Again, yesterday, thanks to your help, we were right there next to Bongino and a guy named Crowder. And also wanted to show you this.
If you've been wanting something a little extra, our rhinestone collection is just for you. The same comfy apparel you already love, just with a little sparkle. We always encourage you to wear your And We Know apparel out in hopes that you'll meet like-minded people, and you're sure to stand out in these. Available now on the Shop And We Know site.
That's right, shop.amweknow.com. You can go to amweknow.com, our brand new site, and you'll see the shop button right there on the top. Also, if you click Get Involved, Patriot Showcase, we're not getting very many photos sent in. I don't know if folks are having a hard time finding it, but just go to Get Involved. You'll see the drop down. There'll be Patriot Showcase. You click on that, and you'll be able to send pictures. Remember, our new website's pretty awesome. It's got the 2027 Alaska cruise listed there. All of our Patriot Showcase pictures, you can actually go on our main site, click Submit a Photo. There it is, right there. And we've got all of our partners, if you're wondering, on the near the bottom of the website. So we're looking forward to seeing those photos sent in. Here's President Trump, what he did here yesterday.
Well, thank you very much. And this is a great story. And it's an honor to be with Ryder Williams, who is a 16-year-old lifeguard, and he saved this young gentleman. What you did was incredible. I've seen rescues before. I've never seen anything quite like this.
In those dangerous moments that we have, we always try to fall back on our training. You're trained so well by many. I hope that everybody can take away from this and try to help more people. Try to look out for everybody around you and just try to help everybody out.
Yeah, it's great to have representatives there. This video put together showing them in the Oval Office supporting those who save lives. Thank you, President Trump.
You know, it's so exciting to see something like this happen. He's a real hero. You know, when you see that, I don't know if I'd do it. I wouldn't probably. You're lucky I wasn't. You're lucky I wasn't on the service that day. I don't know. But no, he's a real hero. It's an amazing thing. And he's a real lucky guy, too. God was watching you, right? Yeah. Great.
God was watching you. It's great to have a president that would recognize our Heavenly Father in the midst of so many, especially in front of the nasty mainstream liberal demonic media. I was going to show that later since we're talking about the media. Look what he had to do to CNN.
Quiet. You're very disrespectful in front of this young man. Okay? Don't you find her disrespectful? He understands. Quiet. Who are you with?
I'm with CNN.
Fake news. You're fake news. You're a loud, boisterous person. You're fake news. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. You're a fake reporter, and you report fake news. Go ahead.
Mr. President.
Yeah, so Trump told CNN's Kristen Holmes to shut up in the Oval Office. She kept interrupting. Trash propaganda. Gunnar Eagleman put this out. He called her loud, boisterous, fake news. Told her to be quiet. So when President Trump says, I wouldn't run in the ocean and try to save folks like the lifeguard that he has there in the Oval Office. In my opinion, we were drowning in the lies and the demonic deception of the mainstream media. And he ran out there in the midst of all the waves that were pummeling all of us over and over again. And he says, enough. And so in my capacity, in my type of thinking, President Trump is, in a sense, a lifeguard who's done so much to help a lot of us that sometimes we forget. And I was going to read this at the end, but you know what? Let's go ahead and go to this now. It's kind of interesting how this is flowing. And again, I'm going to remind you, we do not worship President Trump. I've had folks accuse me of that, even liberals that will sit there and push their agenda. Oh, you guys worship President Trump. You think that he's this, that, and the other. No, we don't worship him. We just feel like, hey, this guy's done more for you than you could ever imagine. Michael Jackson Global, that's the name on this X account, wanted to remind us of this. Trump ended the pandemic, which was supposed to last 10 years. You guys remember that? We've gone through the details throughout time. They had a huge plan. They were going to bring COVID on, keep the masks on us, pretend that they were working on vaccines for years and years, and continue to push the agenda that we can't be near anybody, 6 foot apart, stay away from your family members, can't go to the hospital to watch your loved ones pass away, yada, yada, yada. That was supposed to last for 10 years, so we were so beat down and wore down, they would say, all right, now everyone will get the vaccine, which, of course, we know what that is all about. We know what they were trying to do to us and how many have suffered because they went and got it. But we don't need to go there today. Trump prevented the Great Reset, which was supposed to enslave all of mankind. You guys remember that? It's been a while. The Great Reset. The whole world would have been under one government. Anybody that exercised free speech, that would have been gone. We would have been told, you're under arrest. Oh, if you believe in Jesus Christ, oh, you're against us and our beliefs, therefore you're put away. They were going to put us in trains that were connected to department stores. Many of them were connecting to Walmart because a lot of them were shutting down because of pipe. Remember, the pipes were breaking. And all of a sudden, these United Nations trucks started showing up at the Walmarts, and they had the concertina wire around it. And you're like, what is the United Nations doing at these Walmarts that shut down? People were videotaping them at the time. They were shutting down social media. Twitter wouldn't allow anybody to post things. They were taking out people that were actually creating movies showing the government takeover of the world, the Great Reset. I don't remember the name of the guy at the time, but his family was taken out because he put a great movie together to expose all of it. You guys remember all that? Trump prevented the destruction of America, which was supposed to happen under Hillary Clinton. Remember the 16-year plan to destroy America? Folks, how do we know all this information today? It's because we were given access to military intel that wouldn't go out to the public before, but it's called Q. Remember, that was under attack. Why would they attack it so much if it wasn't actually making waves? It didn't mean anything. It was a tiny little mosquito. Well, it's not causing any problems. Why did they go after it? Because it was millions of mosquitoes, and they were crowding over the deep state, and they were exposing the rhinos. They were exposing all the politicians for who they really were. When they were pretending to be for us, they were against us. Trump arrested Jeffrey Epstein and ended his operation to sexually blackmail influential leaders. You guys get that? Get that? Remember, they're all saying that he's part of the Epstein. But yeah, guess what he was doing? He was actually undercover, helping the three-letter agencies to go after Epstein. Then when he became president, boom, done, taken down. Trump ended mass censorship and restored free speech. Trump arrested multiple heads of global drug cartels and ended the world's greatest drug operations. Yeah, he's blowing them out of the water. It's what we all would want to do, right? Especially those that have children that have been hooked on drugs, have lost family members to drugs. You guys know, you're listening. Many of you out there probably choking up right now, like myself. I've had family members affected by these drugs. It rips your heart apart. It tears into the very fabric of your mind. And you go before your Heavenly Father and you're just begging Him, would you please do something? Help! President Trump shows up, brings his guys together and says, I want these guys obliterated out of the water. We're done. Trump removed the USA from the WHO, the World Health Organization. No, they were the World Hell Organization. Effectively preventing their plan for world domination. That's right. They were going to take over Big Pharma. Pharmacia, remember? The whole world will be deceived by their sorcery, which the word is pharmakia. They retranslated the word in English to sorcery. They didn't want you to know that Big Pharma would try to control the entire earth. Well, they're still doing it now. A lot of these drugs that people take, they don't realize, have a lot of demon parts to it. Trump will abolish the United Nations, again, ending the agenda for a one world government. I hope so. I want that UN gone. Why is it even on our property? Gone. Trump exposed the mind control of the news media and popularized the term fake news media. He kept saying it over and over and over and over and over and over because for what? All these years, 6:30 at night, the news comes on. Turn on the television. We had 3 channels to turn to. When your parents told you to go turn the channel, you turn it 6:30. Got to listen to the news. They got to fill up our minds with their propaganda. Trump empowered the rise of alternatives news media, right? That counters the lies of the mainstream. Yeah, he started going on other alternate news. We started noticing that the Q board was highlighting a lot of them, and they were exposing many out there that were fake, not real. He helped with that. Trump exposed election fraud and is busy making elections around the world safe again. Yeah, it's taking time. It's working on it, but at the same time that they're doing this, they have to expose what they were up to, what they've been doing, the machines. COVID was used to steal the election. He said that in some of his speeches. The machines, the mail-in ballots, the millions that come across the border and they bring them in. They can't speak a lick of English, but they walk them in and say, there's how you vote. You walk in with your hijab on as a dude. You say, hey, can I bring in 7 more people? Yeah, bring in 8. Do you want us to vote? Go ahead. No ID. No ID. Trump launched a worldwide war against child trafficking and human rights abuse. Brought faith, prayer, and the Bible back in public buildings and society, exposed the deep corruption of the CIA, FBI, and DOJ, ended the brainwashing of children by abolishing the Department of Education. Slowly going away. Trump will restore quality education by offering the free American Academy to the youth, defunded the LGBTQ and transgender agenda, and is restoring healthy families in America. Ended the poison of the food and restores healthy nutrition. Ended the mass invasion of illegals, which was supposed to destroy America. Ended the worldwide funding of the deep state, evil activities throughout USAID. Ended massive theft of trillions of American tax dollars. Is going to end taxes and will restore wealth to the American people. Ended the satanic rule in Hollywood and appointed Gibson and Stallone as his eyes in Hollywood. Empowered millions of patriots worldwide to oppose the deep state and New World Order. Openly confronts the globalists at the WEF and puts an end to their nefarious agendas. Ended the climate change scam, which was supposed to be the excuse for the whole earth to be under tyranny. Trump ended the childhood vaccine mandates and reduced the number of those poisonous shots from 70 to 9. Little by little. Little by little, we're watching the exposure of evil. In a moment, I'm going to show you what Marco Rubio dropped to the whole world. How President Trump is trolling when it comes to Korea. The Ivy League, Wilted Ivy from Observing Consciousness in a moment. Folks, many of us want our furry best friends to thrive. At ltpetclub247.com are all natural, USA-made supplements and treats packed with immune-boosting Coriolis versicolor mushrooms. Shed antler power, transform your pet's health. And guess what? They're so pure, they're great for humans too.
have been suffering from ulcerative colitis my whole life. I started dosing it very, very hard, like 4 60-milligram tablets 4 times a day. To make a long story short, within about 3 weeks, I stopped bleeding.
From biscuits supporting bones, joints, and organs to mushroom blends for wellness, we've got pets and people covered. Plus, we donate profits to animal rescues like the Beagle Freedom Project. Shop affordable, natural solutions. Head to ltpetclub247.com now for vitality for you and your pet. LT Pet Club 247, health for all, 24/7. Get yours in the description box below today.
For we in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. We do not seek to separate, but to revitalize an old friendship and renew the greatest civilization in human history. What we want is a reinvigorated alliance that recognizes that what has ailed our societies is not just a set of bad policies, but a malaise of hopelessness and complacency. An alliance is the alliance that we want is one that is not paralyzed into inaction by fear. Fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future.
The Munich Security Conference to the entire world. Constitution X showed us this. We in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. Nope. America's done accepting slow suicide, smiling while the West is dismantled. We're done being the polite undertaker of our own civilization. Marco didn't whisper it. He declared war on the managed decline. This is the line in the sand. This is the moment. Defend the West at all costs. The soft days are over. The caretakers have been fired. Fired.
A very easy military operation in Iran. That's strange. No, we'd rather not get involved. I see.
President Trump says he also wants to see South Korea chip in more to defray the cost of keeping tens of thousands of U.S. troops and Air Force fighter squadrons and combat-coded aircraft there. The president was also asked the following question, Martha.
Why hasn't Kim Jong-un responded to your request to have a conversation?
How do you know he hasn't responded?
Has he?
Yes.
The president did not elaborate and provide more details. Martha?
All right.
Kim Jong-un responded. Remember when he said, hey, guys, why are we going against North Korea? We took care of that already. Why are you guys setting up all these military exercises and spending the money where we don't have to spend it? And then he posted a meme. In case you guys aren't looking at the screen, if you're listening, he posted a meme with Kim Jong-un on the phone with his military surrounding him. And he says, hey, Donald, we cool, right? Hey, Donald, we cool, right? Is using a picture that was used on the Q board from May 5th of 2020, where it has him on the phone, the same picture. Hello, is this CNN? I have confidential information about the death of Kim Jong-un. And it says trolling can be fun. Interesting post here. Kimberly Hour caught it at 4:09 was when President Trump posted this. Well, what is 4:09? Well, great. Glad you asked. 4:09 on the keyboard. Correct exchange. Anons changed our mind regarding public, private, public. Right? Private//public. We are listening. Highest priority. Have faith. It almost makes me wonder, does that mean we're letting you know what we think publicly about our military exercises, and we just want you guys to find out, as you know, before we kind of kept the stuff hidden? Because it's interesting, right, that was made public. Also made public would be the Department of War, since we're talking about them. They're ordering a research security audit at 30 academic institutions. Yeah, you heard that right. They're academic, financial, and research collaborations with foreign entities of concern. You don't say. That's where the real exercise needs to be done. Well, we're going to call this an operation. These audit notifications address active institutional ties and collaborations with foreign entities identified under Section 1286 of the FY Fiscal Year 19 NDAA, as well as organizations associated with rebranded Confucius Institutes. Institutions are required to report their findings and actions directly to the Department of War no later than August 31st, 2026. You just can't believe it, right? The Wilted IVY is what Observing Consciousness called that. You're looking at your screen. He puts these amazing graphics together. From Harvard to National Research Network. Here we go. Harvard was never the whole story. It was the prototype that exposed the architecture. The Department of War has now ordered 30 American universities to conduct immediate audits of their academic, financial, and research relationships, right? They must trace foreign collaborations, identify sensitive or export controlled research exposure, terminate dangerous partnerships, that's right, get rid of them, and report directly to the department by August 31st, just right around the corner. Or they're going to risk future federal research funding. The official order's here. Boom, with a couple of cues. That scales everything we mapped through Harvard. Foreign money entered the university system. Taxpayer-funded research and intellectual property moved through hidden partnerships. They were doing it all through the universities. American credentials placed foreign-linked personnel downstream to laboratories, corporations, hospitals, technology firms, and government, while nonprofit structures and incomplete disclosures obscured who was funding what. Harvard was the opening incision. Now the investigation is moving across the academic research network itself. This is no longer a fight over ideology or anti-Semitism alone. It is a national security audit of the pipeline connecting foreign capital, American universities, sensitive technologies, and the institutions that shape the country. The Wilted Ivy wasn't one poison branch. It was a tangled root system of corruption at scale. Congress just exposed the secret side door Harvard built to quietly accept foreign money, especially over $630 million tied to China. $630 million, folks. While researchers kept using university labs and credentials, the Department of Justice is already inside the financial aid ledgers. Follow the donors, the students, and the patents before the entire tangled Ivy architecture is laid bare. I mean, we were told about this. August 16th, Observing Consciousness gave us this whole rundown. Remember, you followed him for a while. You'll remember the deep dives he's made into Harvard and Ivy League. Tangled Ivy. They were never an elite university. It became a gateway into America's command structure. Remember, Harvard predates the United States of America. They were founded in 1636. Think about that. Congress now says Harvard built its own side door. Harvard Global could accept foreign awards the university could not take directly for legal or financial reasons. That's right. So the DOJ financial aid investigation opened one ledger. Congress just exposed the side door. Now follow the donors, the students, researchers, the patents. Oh, so good. Yeah, because he went all the way back to July 22nd. We talked about this. Harvard, the access point. Wow. Just when we thought we had all the exposure and all the fraud out there. No, we've been given more. Now we get to the election. President Trump said earlier this month, India's chief election commissioner, India, Ganesh Kumar, asked our administration, how can you have elections in the United States without a valid photo ID? India's last election had 646 million voters. Less than 1% voted by mail, and every single voter had to have a valid photo identity document. We need to pass the Save America Act now. Look at these numbers from CNN.
Just take a look at this. Net favorability. Party ahead at this point. Midterm years with the GOP president. In 2018, Dems were up by 12. In 2006 on net favorability, which party you like more? Dems were ahead by 18. Republicans are actually ahead on net favorability at this point by 5 points. So Democrats are just simply put running behind their previous benchmarks, and they need to be running well ahead of them if they want to take back the United States Senate.
Yep. So you guys know Florida Republicans hold 60,000 vote lead in mail-in and early voting? Just in case you wanted to know. All Florida. What are they doing to safeguard these elections? Well, listen to this from Dylan.
Elections that all Americans can feel confident in is a high priority of this White House. It's something that I frequently meet with other agency heads on, and Department of Homeland Security is involved in it. The Postal Service is involved in it. And we really want every American to get out there and vote and feel confident in the outcome. That's an important part of it, is not just vote, but also feel like you can accept the outcome of the elections. And over the years, we've had Republicans and Democrats, Hillary Clinton's and Stacey Abrams, have both come out and said, they didn't accept the outcome or they didn't like what happened in their particular election. So this is a bipartisan issue and it's a bipartisan problem, and we want people from both sides to be able to accept those results.
Well, if these elections play out the way we would want them to, and the real folks are actually voting, and the polls, since we know they're off by a lot, the Dems would lose everything all the time. Here we go.
California, the great state of California, with all those electoral votes. And you can see here the national vote margin, Dems need to win the House control. Well, under the current lines, right, the lines that are happening right now, they only would have to have won the national House popular vote by less than a point. By less than a point. So basically any win would have gotten them the House. But now with redistricting, look at this. The Democrats, in order to win back the House of Representatives, they have to win by anywhere from 3 all the way up to 4 percentage points. So Democrats can't just win by a little. They got to win by a lot to win back the House. On the other hand, what are we seeing in terms of the Senate that could make this scenario possibly happen, even if it isn't too likely? Well,
yep, not too likely. But they cheat. They cheat a lot. And, of course, they're trying to get the Muslims on their side, the DSA on their side, all these other things that have been playing out for all to hear. Valentina Gomez said this.
Roseanne, Texas is about to experience the same fate as in the UK.
Yeah.
The UK is Islamized completely. The UK has over 150 Sharia courts. Cities in the UK, the city of London, Birmingham, Sheffield, Luton, are all ran by Muslims. Muslims are running the UK nowadays. So the UK has fallen, and Texas is not far off. Now Texas schools are required to provide halal food in the school menus. And this was done under a Republican governor in a Republican-run state house and Senate.
That's right. Good catch. Under Republicans in Texas, running amok.
Thank you for serving your community. I'm here also today to speak regarding Epic 2 Community, now deceptively named The Meadow. I've spoken at Commissioner's Court many times and did again today on this topic. As you know, many citizens have been attempting to raise awareness about this development, and thanks to Amy Meck's research and reporting on X, along with Attorney General Paxton's involvement with the noting of Texas security violations, these concerns are now receiving additional attention. Governor Abbott signed HB 4711 a couple months ago, which only prevents the forcing of somebody to sell their property back to the mosque. It doesn't stop them from doing it voluntarily.
That's right.
And as we know, in Islamic culture, it's okay to lie if it advances their cause. This bill did not address that Sharia law and our Constitution are not compatible, and it did not ban Sharia law, despite suggestions otherwise. Most of you know that Epic City Development changed its name to Double R Mud when electing new board members a couple months ago, and now again to The Meadow, clearly attempting to avoid negative publicity in online searches. But make no mistake, this remains an Islamic-focused community, and Islam is fundamentally incompatible with our Constitution. Under Sharia law, there's no freedom of religion, no freedom of speech, no freedom of thought, no freedom of artistic expression, especially concerning no equal rights for women. Residents of Epic cannot simultaneously honor both the Constitution and Sharia law. These systems are incompatible with Islam and Sharia law. There is no difference. They cannot honor the Constitution and support Islam. I realize that the county is responsible for final approvals, but they will be asking this town for the use of infrastructure and especially annexing immediately if approved, and you need to be prepared for that. This development shows concerning patterns like large land acquisitions through shell companies and religious nonprofits, strategic use of municipal MUDs to bypass zoning and public oversight, foreign funding through tax-exempt religious institutions, separate governance structures with their schools and legal systems. TCEQ applications should be secured, and they haven't done this despite Abbott's directive in April to halt work until permits are secured, and then the educational content that they're teaching that conflicts with American civic values.
That was November 10th, 2025. Everything we've been talking about and more has been out there and exposed. We'll also see this in Mississippi, what's playing out there, what their plans are when they go on these little talk shows being recorded for all to see, how they plan on, they're disappointed, but they want to really take over America. That, and we have a lot on these school teachers that are finally being removed. Others are not. Those that go against anything that we put out are now exposed for the world to see. Can't wait to show you. Well, folks, if you're struggling to fall asleep at night or you're waking up with that constant ache, we had a great interview with Nathan Madden from Emerald Med Pure CBD. Talked about their wonderful oil, nature's clean support for deeper rest and everyday comfort. Their full spectrum formula preserves up to 50 plus natural hemp compounds, minor cannabinoids, terpenes, and flavonoids working together for better results than isolated CBD. Made with non-GMO hemp, raw extracts, and blended with coconut MCT for fast absorption. No solvents, synthetic sweeteners, or fake flavors, just pure, powerful relief. At 2,250 milligram strength, each bottle delivers over 3,300 milligrams of total support. The reason so many customers feel the difference and come back again and again. Wake up refreshed, move through your day more comfortably, experience clean, effective support the natural way. Go in that description box below and get your pure relief for sleep and comfort. Emerald Med CBD Comfort today. So Mississippi Agriculture Commissioner, gubernatorial candidate Andy Gibson.
The way it always begins is a very slow, very quiet infiltration, and then over time, earning votes, earning land, and then eventually implementing this kind of religious law not only around the world, but here in America.
We have the First Amendment, which protects freedom of religion, and it also requires the anti-establishment of religion. You can't establish a state religion in Mississippi. And the types of things that I hear Andy Gibson talking about run afoul of the spirit of the First Amendment.
I don't even know why we're still talking about Islam in America. It needs to just be outright banned, and it's just that simple. Is Islam compatible with the U.S. Constitution? Yes or no? The answer is no, it is not compatible with the U.S. Constitution because Islam is not a religion. Islam is government. Islam is a society. It is a society of rules. That is the religion.
That's right. And let's see if we can get them exposed. Yes, sir, Cuddy.
Us living here in Western lands, a part of our agenda, a part of our, shari'i huquq, and Allah wants us to do this, is to establish our version of laws in the society we live in. Is it our long-term explicit goal that we want to enforce our laws on the rest of society? If that is the case, what are going to be the repercussions of the minorities living here? We need to think these things through. Our ultimate goal is to rule over the land. Our resources are limited. As a Muslim community in America, we have limited people already in the game.
I want people in this part of the world to embrace Islam, and I want, once they do so, to join the larger ummah. Obviously, Muslim minority situations, us here in America, it is not something that the Sharia asks of us to do. In minority situations, to aspire to a khilafah or to aspire to political dominance and to overthrow the internal system in a coup d'etat. That is political suicide.
All of these verses are there. That's the Meccan phase. Now, obviously, in the Medinan phase, Muslims have now political power. Now, the question here is that, should we apply any laws of Medina in societies and situations that might be more, akin to Mecca, well, we understand that in minority situations, we do not enact vigilante justice, that the harms that will come are far more than any potential good that you think is going to happen. I'm standing with my mentor, my sheikh here.
See, brothers and sisters, you have to understand where you are and the climate. For instance, the first 13 years in Mecca, the Meccan period, no verses about jihad. But then Allah revealed after the migration, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Fight in the way of Allah. So the general principle in the first 13 years is patience. I say the same thing here. The same thing here in these countries. Let us be patient.
Prophet said, fight the pagans, fight the kuffar with your tongue, with your pens, and with your hands. There's times and places for different types of jihad.
Yep. Speaking of jihad, speaking of patience, get ready. They've got some plans. And when these criminals start doing some terrible things, I wonder what will happen. Well, this isn't related to Islam at all, but it kind of makes me connect the dots of, well, what happens when we start seeing all types of fighting playing out? They come out and start doing some terrible things to the people in the country. Will they actually go to prison and stay there for crimes? Well, in some places, they're just going to be let out. Here's an example of a guy was arrested 20 times since 2022. Every time he attacked somebody, he did it from behind. He hunted a woman alone. 2 separate times, the justice system caught him, and they let him go and do it again.
26-year-old Jeff Acer has been in jail 3 times in the last 2 weeks, all for allegedly assaulting women. On August 1st, near Northwest 23rd and Classen, police were called because of a possible rape. Acer allegedly pushed a woman up against a bus stop window and stuck his hands down her pants. Police were also told by another woman Acer came up behind her while she was walking on Classen and pulled her pants down. She was able to push him and got away. He was arrested for sexual battery and indecent exposure. 5 days later, near Scissortail Park, he's accused of walking up behind a woman and grabbing her butt multiple times. When she turned around, he was allegedly digging in his pants, but when she asked him to leave, he walked away. Police spotted him later and arrested him for sexual battery. 6 days after that, Wednesday of this week, the Lake Hefner Trail incident happened when he allegedly walked up behind a woman, pulled her down, and attempted to rape her. Firefighters stopped it and called police. Now his bond is at $75,000, but the district attorney's office said today the plan is to try to get it raised because of all these incidents. Now, we asked officials today why actual charges haven't been filed in any of these cases. Oklahoma City police tell me they're working closely with the district attorney's office.
Oklahoma City. So again, not related to Islam. However, when crimes start being committed across the country, will they start letting them out over and over again, just like you see in the UK? All right, here's Kanisha Daly, a special ed teacher. Now we're getting to the school systems. All right, listen to what she says.
Starting today, I'm starting a black militia. So if you're black, if you want to shoot some guns, come find me. We're going to rob some white people. And I see that people are fighting back against ICE, and I believe that is powerful. I know that people want a revolution, they want things to change, and I support that. So if you're calling for a revolution, I support that. But just look at history and know what could be at stake.
Yeah. You heard it. She's now under police investigations, banned from school grounds. This person was in charge of teaching children in California. Meet Megan Yarnell, teacher at the Pittsburgh schools in Ohio. Is it PBURG schools? Yeah. In addition to having a Pride DEI poster on the classroom door, also has a giant genital mutilation flag in her classroom. Held fundraisers for far left groups like the Trevor Project, which teaches kids to keep secrets from parents. These are the folks that are teaching. Because now imagine if this would have been the opposite, folks. It's just my mind how it works. And she had Bible verses all over the classroom and scripture, the 10 Commandments out, and talking about sin, but also the redemption and living for Christ and both. Man, it would have been all over the entire mainstream media. Not these guys. Jeremy Williams, Oregon high school principal, celebrated Charlie Kirk's ending. Now locked up for 5 years for child porn, including infants. Radical left keeps producing the same type. The ones who cheer political assassinations are the ones hiding the most disgusting crimes. It's not a fluke. Also, the Plano Schools Board in Texas voted unanimously to fire elementary school principal Jennifer King after she reportedly failed to report sex misconduct allegations brought against a second grade teacher, Paul Campbell.
Board of Trustees authorizes the district administration to issue the notice of proposed termination and non-renewal in the alternative to term contract employee Jennifer King. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. That's 7 hands up. That motion passes unanimously.
Campbell was arrested last month on child sex crime charges after multiple students accused him of inappropriate touching. School officials who fail to protect children need to be held accountable. That is for sure. Now, remember the other day we played a clip of a man who was crying because the children at the senior level couldn't even read.
By now, everyone's seen that video last week of that teacher crying over the lack of literacy among his senior students, and I know a lot of people said it's not that serious. I am a first-year English teacher for junior high. I have 7th and 8th graders who can't spell basic words, who don't know where to put punctuation, who don't know that I's need to be capitalized when they're standing on their own. They don't know how to use synonyms. They don't know how to make their language interesting and pretty. And in the midst of all of this, I have a principal who has banned my entire class library on the basis that it's inappropriate. I suggested a permission slip. She said that wasn't permissible. I said, you know what? Fine. Why don't you look through this library and tell me what is allowed? She didn't want to do that. That requires too much effort. So she put it back on me and said, why don't you tell me which ones are permissible? So I went in on my day off, a day that I don't get paid for, and I printed off an accelerated reader's sheet for every single novel in my classroom. Surprise, surprise, she moved the finish line. Because now not only are upper grade YA books not allowed, middle school books aren't allowed either. These students are being tested on 7th and 8th grade literacy, and they are only being permitted to read 3rd and 4th grade books, and sometimes not even that level. We are setting them up for failure by only allowing them to read up to a 3rd grade level, and then testing them on 7th and 8th grade concepts, and then we blame them for failing and falling behind, even though we are crippling them by not letting them read for enjoyment. And we sit here and we debate and we say, what's wrong with education? Why are these children falling behind? Why aren't they excelling? Why don't they read? Why can't they spell? Why don't they know how to write? Why can't they form a coherent critical thought? Because we're not allowing them to. And I don't believe it's an issue of parental censorship. I do believe that parents should have a say in what their children read. The issue is thinking that if a book is wrong for one child, that it's wrong for every child. That if a majority of children in the classroom only read at this level, then everyone must read at this level. Here's the thing. Literature is meant to provoke and inspire and encourage. It is meant to challenge the way that you think. If you only ever are exposed to viewpoints that perfectly match what you think, you will not grow into an articulate, well-educated, critical thinking individual.
Interesting. All right, let's go over to the college level, shall we? So the Texas A&M professor kicked a girl out of class for having a religious objection to transgender rhetoric. She was fired. Listen to the exchange. What a great student to do this.
Of our remarks on gender and sexuality. We ready from last class. What did we didn't get to in our last class?
I just have a question because I'm not entirely sure this is legal to be teaching. Because according to our president, there's only 2 genders, and he said that he would be freezing agencies funding programs that promote gender ideology. And this also very much goes against not only myself, but a lot of people's religious beliefs. And so I am not going to participate in this because it's not legal, and I don't want to promote something that is against our president's laws as well as against my religious beliefs.
She asked, are you suggesting these are false?
Yes.
You are under misconception that what I'm saying is
Can you explain to me how how teaching us about gender identity and transgenderism and that there's more sexes than
Gender isn't illegal.
Huh?
Like, gender isn't illegal.
Gender? What do you mean? Your gender is not illegal. According to President Trump's executive order, if you want me to read the paragraph in the order itself.
If you are uncomfortable in this class, you do have the right to leave.
Yeah.
If you're uncomfortable in the class, you have a right to leave.
What we are doing is not illegal. And if you would like to claim that it is, you need to talk to the department or the head of undergrad.
Way to go. Strong stance. Let the folks know what's going on. And boom. Fired. I'm going to play this from Sal Grover.
So why is this important? What am I here to tell you? I'm here to say that if the state can force you to accept men as women, they can force you to accept anything. Freedom of speech, belief, and association. Freedom of speech, belief, and association are the bedrock of a free society. But they are in direct conflict with transgender ideology. So I believe that this is the most important issue in society at the moment, and if we don't eradicate transgender ideology from law and society, we're going to lose reality. Because transgenderism is forcing us to ignore reality and our own instincts, and it's imposing an ideology upon us. Women's rights are just the canary in the coal mine. This impacts everyone. Gender identity, gender ideology, transgenderism, whatever you want to call it, isn't true. It's not real. Every aspect of it is a lie. In fact, every claim it makes, the exact opposite is true. Men are not women, women are not men, no one is born in the wrong body, sex is not changeable, and gender identity isn't real. We're told to be kind.
This is the founder and CEO of Giggle.
We're told to be kind and inclusive, but people's empathy is being attacked to force us to be cruel to themselves. Why do I have to be kind and inclusive to a man who claims to be a woman at the expense of my perception of reality and rights? How is that kind? People ask me, what can we do? Speak. At every opportunity, every time it is needed, say, men are not women, and I will not be forced to accept transgender ideology.
Good stuff. All right. You guys remember this from Mr. Rogers?
Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Only girls can be the mommies. Only boys can be the daddies. Yes, sir. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine.
Yep. I watched him as a little kid. I remember that song. The WNBA allows a coach to wear a pro-trans shirt, but they forced fans to cover up their pro-women's shirts at a women's sporting league. Did you guys know about that? If you're looking at your screen, it's XYXX Athletics for the girls. They made them change their shirts, and they were on Fox.
Shirts. All right, Casey, what exactly did the security say was so offensive about that cute, adorable shirt?
Well, he didn't know what was offensive about it. He said he didn't even understand, but since someone told on us and said that they were offensive, we had to, cover up, put on our Atlanta Dream shirts instead of our XXXY.
Well, Annie, the wellness shirt, I'm sure that's all well and good, but I think the other one's a lot cooler. Annie, okay, you're a kid, all right? You're there having fun. Your mom is really generous to get you those tickets. You better have given her a big hug and kiss for that. So awesome that you're there. And yeah, I mean, that's an unbelievable gift. So you're there with your mom having fun. What goes through your mind as a young woman supporting female athletes that this would even come up?
I was flabbergasted. It's the first time I've ever experienced anything like that. And I had no words except like, who's offended by a t-shirt?
Who's offended by a t-shirt? They can't even figure out what a woman is in the WNBA. Well, there's a young lady who attended a game, WNBA. You know, their sales are probably going up now. And I told you before, if they set this whole thing up so they can get their ticket sales, well, it worked. Folks are attending. See Sophie Cunningham and others. And this young lady actually played on the LPGA tour and had to go against a biological male, and she talks about it.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, so you're apparently a golf star.
Maybe washed up, but I do still play some, yeah.
And you had to compete against a biological man.
I did.
Tell me what happened. You could hold the mic.
Yeah.
If you want, yeah, it's just easier.
Yeah, back in January of 2024, I lost a professional women's golf event to a trans-identifying male playing in the women's category. Since then, a lot of things have changed on the golf side for the better. So over the course of that year, myself, 275 other female professionals all worked together, sent the LPGA, the USGA, a letter saying this is not okay. This is happening. We need, and you're aware of it, but we want you to do something about it because there's only so many spots to play on the LPGA tour, and one of those is going to be potentially going to a man if you don't do something about it. And we sent them a letter, and thankfully they listened. And we hoped, and I hoped, that all of the other female organizations would follow, and we're starting to see that a little bit with the IOC. And that's like, when I saw the IOC decision, I thought it was going to make it easier for everyone else. So the fact that I have to stand here today outside of a WNBA game is pretty crazy that we have to still be talking about this. It's happening. I mean, we're seeing it across the country. Thankfully, this administration is doing some positive things about it, but it's still very real. We're seeing the basketball player in France dominating. So the WNBA needs to wake up. It's on their front door, and with Royce Wyatt and Nez Kenter Freedom, whether your stance on that whole thing or not, the reality is that the WNBA needs to clean up the policy and make it clear that they want the W to still exist, which is supposed to be women.
That's right. And if they do, and they do start testing, they're going to find out a lot of folks in WNBA probably not women. All right. Let's get into some interesting things playing out in the medical world. Here's actor Dennis Quaid joining RFK Jr. and taking on Lyme disease.
Nearly 500,000 Americans are diagnosed and treated for Lyme disease annually. And behind every one of those numbers is a person, a family, and a community looking for answers. I know how devastating that search can be. My good friend, the late Chris Christopherson, spent years living with a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. But Alzheimer's wasn't the problem. He actually had Lyme disease. And when doctors finally diagnosed him correctly in 2016 and started the right treatment, his symptoms did improve. His story isn't unique, and that's exactly why these new actions matter.
That's why HHS is investing millions in innovation to develop AI-powered tools that improve patient care, enable earlier diagnoses, and accelerate research to help eradicate Lyme disease and other tick-borne illnesses. And we're already delivering results. Over the past 2 years, HHS has worked with the LymeX community to help bring 2 improved FDA-cleared Lyme diagnostics to market, giving clinicians better tools and helping more patients get an accurate diagnosis sooner.
Amen. All right, Wall Street Ape showed us this clip here. Former assistant Anoka County attorney in Minnesota caught helping running a sex trafficking organization in Hennepin County. The former Anoka County assistant attorney also ran assisted living and autism centers, and they stole all kinds of money.
Trafficking organization in Hennepin County. Andrea Sampson was arrested Friday after a BCA investigation that began in 2021.
She is alleged to have secured and provided locations for commercial sex transactions. She also allegedly assisted in maintaining shell companies to hide and funnel profits.
An assistant attorney for Anoka County Stole $4.6 million from taxpayers. Here's Wall Street Apes.
Out shell companies. One thing you learn when you see these stories, especially in Democrat states, is when you have people that are involved with crimes like this, they are always involved in more crimes, and they're always involved in things like autism centers, home health care, and wouldn't you know it, they are. These same criminals right here, the 3 that are involved in this sex trafficking case, wouldn't you know it, they are also billing Medicaid for huge amounts of money. $2.5 million for autism services, one specific assisted living property, a former commercial sex house linked by her billed more than $500,000. A linked assisted living home alone billed $1.2 million between these years. Reports between their companies submitted about $4.65 million in total claims to Medicaid.
Oh boy. Sunlight kills. The light is exposing the darkness. Also, tax refunds jumped 17% after President's signature law. Not 18%, not 19%. 17%. Go figure. Also, Made in America is back under the President of the United States, Made in the USA. We saw this also, that we produce more oil and gas at less cost than we could ever before. In the past decade, oil production in the basin, America's largest oil field, has quadrupled. Natural gas production has grown 7-fold. Joe Lang said we dominate the oil industry around the world now. Our oil industry is no longer at the mercy of a cabal puppet master, who purposely manipulate prices and create shortages through supply disruptions. Only going to get better. Also, it's getting better in precious metals world. You guys checking it out, boy. They are starting that August climb. What a great time to get involved. We had a great video we released Saturday with Dr. Kirk Elliott, and he was reminding us of some amazing things with his charts that he put together.
Triangle on U.S. Treasury yields, we're seeing the same. The chart looks the same on silver. It looks the same on gold. We're breaking out of that descending triangle, which means higher prices are coming technically.
That's right. AndWeKnow.com/gold in the description box below. Might want to jump on this train as it's departing. It's pretty amazing, those updates and how this is working out for all of us today. Don't know if you saw this, but Nike's dropped, 77% in the past 5 years. American put this out. Look at the timeline. Starting in 2021, Nike pushed annual Be True Pride collections featuring customizable shoes with every LGBTQ flag, including the trans flag, and gave $625,000 to 18 LGBTQ organizations. 2022, they kept it going with the Rainbow SB Dunks. 2023, they doubled down with the Dylan Mulvaney campaign. Parallel to all of that, they rolled out formal race-based DEI targets aimed at increasing minority representation in hiring and leadership in 2025. Targets that are currently being investigated by the EEOC for creating a pattern of discrimination against white workers. We love seeing these stock crashes for these woke companies. Let's hope that it continues. Down they go, one at a time. Then you get to the food side. I want to show you this.
You want to know what's wrong with this day and age? I'm going to show you what's wrong. What is happening? Got it on sale for 99 cents.
Macaroni and cheese.
$2.99.
Pringles chips.
This giant family-sized box was on sale for $4.99.
$4.99 for cereal.
These are actually on sale for $1.40.
$1.40. Then she gets to the clean stuff. Check this out.
It's the same size as a Chip Ahoy cookie. One cookie. See these sweet potatoes? This is all they had to choose from. Sweet potatoes. We eat extremely healthy. Yes, we like to have a treat or quick goes like we're human. So these 4 small sweet potatoes that will feed 3 of us. Sweet potato fries tonight. Can't even make a casserole because there wasn't enough. $7.45.
$7 for 4 sweet potatoes. Then she opens these.
They're not even in that good a shape. That's all they had. You see that? Do you want to know how much this bag was? Do you want to know? This bag right here was $9. This bag. It fits in the palm of my hand. Brussels sprouts?
Brussels sprouts. $9 for a small bag. And they're not even that good. All of this is happening. Wall Street Apes keeps us updated.
Why the ultra-processed food is so much cheaper than the healthy food, it's because it's intentional. Big Pharma works with the food industry, and these two industries work together to poison us, keep us sick, and it's done for profit. And here's an expert who's now very high up in the government, you may definitely recognize him, confirm it.
There's just a simple economic fact. Let's not get conspiratorial, let's not get emotional. We're being poisoned as a population at scale. And that's happening because the largest industry in the country, again, just as a statement of economic fact, makes money when we get sicker, when we get more depressed, when we get more infertile. The healthcare is the largest industry in the country. It's the fastest growing industry in the country. More mortgages when we drive through a neighborhood are paid for by the healthcare industry. More people, their dignity is tied to that industry. And I worked for pharma and I worked for the food industry, which we can get into. They're very connected. And the raw economic fact is that those industries are fueled by an imperative for not only for us to get sicker, but for kids to get sicker. Chronic disease is the greatest economic invention, the greatest profit maximizing invention in human history.
They need us sick so they can sell their drugs. Remember we showed the meme that President Trump dropped earlier, "Hey Donald, we cool, right?" with Kim Jong-un. Well, it also had a timestamp of 1609 military time. Remember, it's 409, but 1609, Kimberly Hour caught that. And it relates very, very close to everything that we've been talking about. Are you awake? The mainstream media's propaganda tool of the Democrat Party. POTUS economy, not good enough, impeach. Job creating records, not good enough, impeach. POTUS manufacturing, not good enough, impeach. Remember all that? Tax reform, save the world from North Korea, not good enough, impeach. There it is, Korea. It's in the 1609 drop from President Trump. Stock market gains from POTUS, not good enough. Undo harmful regulations, boost U.S. energy dominance, protect U.S. homeland, combating opioids, not good enough. Do you believe the truth is spreading? Do you believe that they are losing their slave grip? Do you believe we are winning? The silent majority no more. Fight, fight, fight. Where we go one, we go all. What a wonderful day.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you now, just thanking you for how you continue to guide and direct our lives. Thank you for this information that continues to flow out, showing the corruption that has been happening. But you've watched it all. You've watched how they've turned us into slaves in our own world that we live in, desperate to try to make ends meet, wondering why we're working so long, but things just aren't falling into place. Wondering how this was all playing out with their children as they were getting destroyed from before the womb, in the womb, after they come out in the school system, when they head to college, how they head into the workforce, and so much more. You saw the destruction of each human being because of the enemy. We ask that you continue to guide and direct those in leadership to provide some relief, but not only that, to bring the gospel to so many that are hurting, so many that need to hear about Jesus Christ other than what they've heard from all these other imposing lies that have been thrown at them from Islam and others. Ask that you guide us and direct us in that way and how we communicate with others and sharing the truth with those that are in need of this. We thank you for your protection over our own families from the enemy. It's in Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Thank you so much for your support this week, folks, and for your prayers. It's so needed. We continue to get through this August. August is hot month. For now, this LT Semper Fi with Him We Know. Signing out.
Even admit what the truth is with the Steele dossier. We're going to let you get away with it. We won't let you get away with it. We are coming for you. We have the stamina to hound you down, and we damn well will.
Tear down this wall.
That we made it unique.
Now, what? And at the same time, is it